The Nuzlocke challenge has evolved significantly since its genesis as a webcomic. We've gone from triumphant stories of overlooked and underappreciated Pokemon to the hyper-optimal 4 hours of prep for a single fight spreadsheet simulator! Well, I'm here to take a new spin on this style of hardcore Nuzlocke. A sort of combination, if you will. I'm going to try and beat Pokemon's hardest modern ROM hack with none of the modern tools. Well, kinda. I want to challenge myself to beat the first gym in Pokemon's hardest Nuzlocke exclusively using physical items. Every input will be done on my childhood GBA, every calculation will be done on my high school TI-84, every base stat will be found with this very special resource.
The super duper extra deluxe essential handbook with stats on more than 1,000 characters. So, for instance, if I want to know the stats of Flygon or Fluttermane, that's a different type of stats. That's not gonna work. Well, you know what? At least we know that Delibird is 35.3 pounds.
Yeah, I might need my laptop for those. Run&Bun is notorious for its immense difficulty. 331 handcrafted fights designed by one of competitive Pokemon's finest trainers to test the player's mastery over the Nuzlocke challenge. Runs can span multiple months. Single fights can take several days to plan and calculate, and one mistake will send you right back to the start. Less than 100 people have ever beaten this game with hardcore Nuzlocke rules. Some players never even make it past the first gym leader, and I'm going to try and do it without the tools that make it most feasible. With my goal in sight, I began preparing all of the materials that I would need to complete the challenge.
We have the Game Boy Advance SP. We have, of course, the TI-84 Plus, damage formula. I'm going to have to actually calculate their stats here. The Switch and AI logic. Heart scales, rare candies, encounter locations, and I guess somehow a red piece of paper accidentally got stuck in here. And I also have this pin that says, "You are crazy mega smart," from my mom. So comment sections, you can't say anything.
Now that I have everything in order, it was time to actually start the game.
Let's do it. Oh my God. Pokemon. Oh, Run&Bun.
With the goal of only needing to complete the first gym, I select Turtwig for my starter, as it's the best early game Pokemon of the three, and its shell armor ability will lend itself to the most consistency in a world of questionable calculations. I mindlessly mashed the A button through the first fight of the game, completely forgetting the point of the challenge.
You know what? I didn't do any calculations. Maybe I should have practiced.
You won't have to wait long for the first of our calculator madness, however, as making our way up to Route 103, we have our first encounter with May. This will be our testing ground for my first round of computations.
And you know, I think that the outcome is probably pretty set in stone. I can just press the bite button. But wouldn't it be more fun if we found out exactly how much we kill this Torchic? Like, with a calculator. 21, okay, 21 HP. If we click the bite button, we should do 90 to 104% damage here. Let's see, please, please, please. Did it kill? That, I mean, it looks like it lived on 1 HP. So we are about an hour into playing the game, and I have calced one fight.
Whew, that was intense. Over an hour of gameplay just to figure out a single overleveled 1v1. I can only imagine how long the eventual 6v6 will take with items and complex moves and Switch and AI. This is going to be fun. Not to mention, my 2-decade-old Game Boy Advance SP only has enough battery life to handle about an hour of gameplay nowadays. Just an extra little wrinkle I'll have to deal with. As if calculating a single fight with a single Pokemon in my party wasn't hard enough already, if I want any hope at beating this challenge, this squad will need some extra members. More potential inputs, yes, but also more potential success. It comes with a price, and that price is my time and sanity. With my sights set on only one gym badge, I don't have to worry about any encounter delays and can just grab every single Pokemon available to me. Starting with Route 103, I snagged the best encounter in Gossifleur, followed up by the best encounter in Oldale Town, Growlithe. This guy is a major stinker and really doesn't get value until much later in the game, so it likely won't be much use to us here. I round out the last of the encounters with flying types in Starly from Route 101 and this crazy adamant synchronized Natu from Route 102 that would normally be insane for a full playthrough, but here it's probably not ideal. Last, but certainly not least, is Little Root Town, where we're able to fish up a Surskit that could very well serve as our MVP. Once I have my newly acquired full team of 6 leveled up, I'm able to write down all of their raw stats to use for any relevant calculations for the entirety of this section until the hard level cap is increased after defeating the next boss trainer, which happens to be this team Aqua Grunt. And my GBA is dying again. Youngster Calvin will serve as our first real testing ground. I start by calculating all of the relevant Pokemon stats, and then I decide to fact check myself to see how well I'm doing.
This is the damage calculator that you'd normally use to save all the minutes and hours that I'm going to spend doing this. Then we can fact check ourselves. So I got Poochyena with an HP value of 20, an attack value of 12, and a special defense stat of 9. An HP stat of 20, an attack stat of 12, a special defense stat of 9. So we are showing proficiency in the ability to calculate the stats, but that's the easy part. The hard part is now to do not this, but this. Now we have to bring back my Pokemon stats and their moves. Yeah, it's already a mess, and this is the literal first trainer in the game. This is the first guy in the document.
So far, so good. Much like the initial rival fight, I can now plug in all of the numbers we found into our actual damage formula and calculate how much my moves will be doing. And if all of that is done correctly, the fight with Calvin should be a breeze.
Apparently, this Bubble Beam should do 130 to 150%. So let's see. Okay, we take the quick attack, which I think means that it should see. I think that means that we kill. The fact that we killed with Bubble Beam here, yeah. Apparently, 86 to 100% is the roll here. Let's see. Okay, I mean that looks like it could be accurate. This should be a better test because if I've done everything correctly, then the minimum roll here should be 22, which always kills Rookie D. This Rookie D should always die. We hit through, and the Rookie D died. So I mean, I think I'm doing it. I think I'm doing okay. First trainer down, and it only took me like 4 hours of gameplay.
We're doing it! But this is the easy part. Every fight in this early section is pretty bare bones, so there isn't much to worry about. I get to Petalburg completely unscathed, where we can collect our final 2 encounters before the first real test. A Shellos in Petalburg and a Venipede on Route 104. Neither of these Pokemon I've ever used, so I won't even be able to rely on previous knowledge to help me in the initial planning phases of future fights. Now that I've rounded up the last of my starter pack encounters, we can start tackling the actual battles, and Route 104 hosts some interesting ones. Triathlete Mikey and his Iron Ball Yanma really just exist to make sure that you equip your Oran Berries you picked up earlier. Lady Cindy exists as a harbinger of death and destruction with her evilly constructed team of cute monstrosities that lure you in with their charm and cripple you with their paralyzing ways. Totally no trauma associated with those mechanics. And who could forget Fisherman Darien? The classic team consisting exclusively of freshly caught Magikarp, but this one is a little bit elevated. Fisherman Darien will actually be the perfect trainer to showcase the main tools we have at our disposal in this run with our plethora of intimidating Pokemon paired with our Shell Armor starter. Not to mention, there are a lot of different elements at play here that greatly impact my personal calculating adventure.
It's the first time that we have an actual damage boosting item, which changes some of the calculations. Because I've played this game before, I actually know that this Magikarp is designed to be as bad as possible. And that's obviously because it's holding the focus sash. So in order to get the maximum value out of Flail, we want this Magikarp to take as much damage as possible. So 0 IVs here on the defense stat, and also a defense lowering nature, but you can just see the difference here in all of the stats. The reason I wanted to show this is because I'm going to be using a very powerful Nuzlocke method called Intimidate Pivoting. You can see by getting this Pokemon to -3 attack, you would multiply the attack stat, which is the attack stat of 12, by 2/5, to get a raw number of 4.8. That means that we are effectively cutting this by a third because it's going to get truncated down to 4. And pairing that with a Shell Armor Pokemon that cannot get crit, means that we are effectively decreasing the amount of damage that this Pokemon can do. Then you can see here, this is Turtwig attacking into the Magikarp. So we have stab plus our type effectiveness, giving us 76.7% to 90% range on the first Magikarp. But on Magikarp 2, the one that is intentionally made to be significantly worse, you get a much better range to kill. So you're seeing the power of IVs here. The whole reason to do this is to get a big whopping flail damage of 26.3% to 28.9%. Turtwig is simply just too good, and you know, none of this really matters. There are two Magikarps at the end of the day. Why did I spend an hour calculating a fight that's going to be simply swept by a turtle?
Yeah, what did I really expect to happen against two measly Magikarp? With those three trainers now out of the way, at long last we can take on the first boss trainer. This should, in theory, be a step up in difficulty as well as a precursor to many of the back-breaking battles that await us in our future. So we'll just mosey on over to Petalbug Woods where—
Oh my god! The Team Aqua Grunt actually is not gonna let us in!
Okay, yeah, the gig is up. I haven't done an amazing job of making this reveal much of a reveal, but the first gym leader in Run&Bun is actually not Roxanne. Instead, we'll be headed to Dewford next to take on Brawly's horde of fighters. I'm sure you were probably very confused about why I was calling the 4 times weak to rock Masquerain the potential MVP for the rock-type gym leader, but now you understand. We're actually going to go back in time and go through the many calculations that I had to do for a team that is half the size of the main boss fight of this video.
So here's what we've got. What I did first, obviously, I had to get all of their stats. Once we got these values, I decided to look at both bite and water pulse. So what I found out is they actually do the exact same amount of damage. So what this means is it's going to be a random move between these two. And then you also have to factor in the fact that this Carvanha has rough skin. I want to bug bite this thing, steal its Oran Berry. So the absolute worst case scenario, Venipede has 32 HP. If we get crit, we should take 30 HP of damage. That'll bring us down to 2. We'll have an Oran Berry equipped. We'll go back up to 12. Then we will take the 4 damage from Rough Skin, but then we will regain 10 HP by eating its held Oran Berry. So now, if we look at the Switch in AI document, AI's Pokemon is faster than the players and deals more damage than it takes. But the reason that I wrote this down is because Krogunk is faster than 20 speed, which is our Venipede, and Execute is slower. We're gonna rock with that. We're kind of just gonna freeball it after that. Which, you know, mark of a good Nuzlocker, just saying, yeah, we're just gonna freeball this. Yo, huge poison point. So if we don't hit the roll, we didn't hit the roll. My calcs are definitely incorrect. Okay, is this gonna die? Yep, all right, so we killed the Carvanha. Now I'm like fact checking myself on the fly. Well, let's just see if the Krogunk comes. Let's see how wrong I've been. Oh no, we're so wrong. Oh God. Oh, that must mean that okay. Oh, that means that I don't Oko this. Because if I outsped and killed this, this would not come in. Hopefully we can just Nightshade this thing down. The Natu matches up extremely well into this Execute. We'll just go here. Excellent. Stamp's got us. If nobody got me, Stamp got me. Let's go, baby. All right, the fully calced Team Aqua Grunt has been defeated.
Well, that did not quite go as planned. Sure, we made it out of the fight unscathed, but clearly my calculations were failing me. I wasn't doing something quite right, as they were all off by just a wee bit, and that wee bit is what will make or break your success in a game like Run&Bun. I need to figure out why and where I went wrong, because the easiest part of the game is now over. With the evil Team Aqua Grunt now defeated, our level cap increases to 17, and we can make way for Dewford Town. Most notably, this jump in levels means that both Turtwig and Starly can evolve, crucially making the opportunity for Intimidate Piving with the Shell Armormon that much more potent. These two new evolutions won't be the only additions to the team, however, as arriving in Dewford meant the opportunity for 3 new encounters. Dewford itself being the most exciting, as we can finally put our Adamant Synchronized Natu to the test for an opportunity to snag an attack boosted fighting type. Yeah, we got the duck. Phenomenal nickname aside, Farfetch'd is the Pokemon in this grass that garners the highest number of groans, but I have faith in this ugly duckling to thrive in my quest to defeat Brawly, despite of course missing out on the synchronized chance. The other two encounters end up being a god-awful Remoraid and another Shell Armormon in Choodle who can become the water cooler to our heater. Blocking our path to Granite Cave are two trainers in Fisherman Elliot and Ruin Maniac Georgie. Fisherman Elliot is a pretty major pushover, but Ruin Maniac Georgie is no joke. This is definitely a fight that we'll want to be properly prepared for, as a sticky web Dwebble lead into a belly drumming Munchlax could spell disaster. After breezing through Fisherman Elliot, I meander over to grab our second hidden heart scale.
Let's go! We got another heart scale. That's the real important thing here. Oh shit. Well. Oh no, this is not a fight that you want to be ill prepared for. This is actually a hard fight. I think I need some coffee. This is this is actually a fight that you want to calc. I have like none of the right Pokemon. Oh, this is a disaster. This is really bad. Oh no. Okay, we're rock blasting. Okay. Oh god. It's doing 7? It's doing so much! Highlighter, no! Highlighter, no! Oh god, oh no. And this is how it all crumbled. We got the 5 hits! Oh, this is a disaster. This is actually a disaster. Oh no, I should not have done this. I needed to keep this thing alive. Dude, what is this level? What is this? What? Oh my god. Okay. All right. I mean, staying in with Staravia is very stupid. We might have to sack Staravia just to not wipe to Munchlax. We're gonna have to play around the Munchlax here. Stamp, you were the OG. You're the first one to do it. Rest easy, buddy. Oh god. We need a miracle. We need duct tape to clutch up. Okay, we're faster. Let's see. Well, if I'd known I was gonna crit! Don't crit me! Yes, okay. Okay, now the demon is in. I think I just need to rock smash this, because I think this does more than 50%, and I can't belly drum. Easy peasy. Duct tape, this is why you're the GOAT. You know what? Most runners would be disappointed to get duct tape. Look at this guy, look at this fool. Okay, it is actually faster than me. Holy moly. Okay, we should have. I'm sorry, Munchlax, I was not familiar with your game. This was a disaster. Like, I'm trying to, like, what have I been doing wrong? Oh!
This was devastating. The most embarrassing part is that it had nothing to do with the whole calculating thing that is supposed to be the main focus of the video. And to make matters worse, I completely ruined my pristine documentation. The one saving grace is that Granite Cave is now open, meaning that I can collect my encounter here as well as on Route 109 after we deliver the letter to Steven. Each floor of Granite Cave has its pros and cons, obviously, but I was desperately lacking any sort of normal resist, so I opted for bottom first floor to guarantee that I would get one, and, well, you get what you asked for. To add insult to injury, Qfant once again did not get the adamant synchronized, but it ended up being a plus attack nature anyways, which was a huge benefit. Route 107 would be the last location where I would rely on Natu to reel in an adamant friend, and this time our colored pin was going to come through.
Ooh, the Tortuga, let's go. She's perfect. The fax machine is here.
Now this is fantastic. We've had a couple of stinkers in a row, but Adamant Tortuga absolutely makes up for it. Getting to Slateport isn't quite as simple as just destroying some random kid's sandcastle and then waltzing into the city. Oh, no. First, you gotta kick over the sandcastle and then kick your way through a bunch of trainers blocking your path on the beach. Classic run and bun fashion, these fights are usually just vibes based and not calced at all, so I can get a small reprieve before delving into our penultimate boss fight, the Museum Double Battle.
Only 3 Pokemon on this guy's team. This should be rather easy, but this is, of course, the Museum Grunt, where you do a back-to-back, and it is no different in Run and Bun. Now, the thing is, we have to be very careful with our lead here, because our lead in this fight will also be our lead in the next fight. All the damage we take in this fight, all the items we consume, all of that is going to stick. This is the first time that I've actually mapped out sort of the full plan. We're going to have Tortuga pre-damage to 36 HP. Murkrow should see highest damaging move with Nightshade. That'll bring us 36 down to 15, which will reduce our HP to 21. And because we're pre-damaged to 21, we should be able to kill with Smackdown, but if we're unable to kill, because we are slower, we can just Aqua Jet turn 2. The minimum damage roll of Water Pulse from Skrelp into Tortuga is 21 HP. What this allows us to do is when Skrelp comes out, we can go Gossifleur, get it to -1 speed, then go Q-Fant, and then we can just Bulldoze twice. And then Tortuga is very simple. We just go Grotle with Oranberry, and it kind of sits on that. And then that leads us into Aqua Grunt 2. And now we lead with this Black Sludge Marini. Now, obviously, Q-Fant, the steel type, is fantastic here. Frillish, once again, we can utilize Gossifleur. You're seeing why Gossifleur is so powerful. Q-Fant can go into Gossifleur on Water Pulse, then we can go Grotle with Oranberry, then Grotle can absorb to get a little HP back, and then we can just kill it with Razor Leaf. And then Whirlipede is going to be tricky. Whirlipede with Speed Boost is going to be very difficult to deal with, so we're going to try and utilize Growlithe here with Oranberry and hope that we can just sort of outlast it. But we'll just pretend that this is totally accurate and move from there. Here we go. Let's see just how well I've done my calculations here. So far, so good. Everything's going to plan. 21 HP. This is why we didn't want to go Oranberry. Let's see. This should either kill or... Okay, that's in Aqua Jet range. Beautiful. Okay. So now we should see Skrelp come in. Perfect. So this should see a kill with its minimum damage roll. That was kind of the point of doing this. Yes, okay. So far, so good. So far, so good. Beautiful. Okay, everything is going so well so far. Actually, you know what? I was not calculating this with sheer force. So this is actually even better than I thought. And this is why we love Grotle. Excellent, excellent. This game's not giving us a free heal. I think normally in vanilla you do get a free heal here, but not in this game, not in Run&Bun. Marini, so probably just wants to Toxic us. I really don't want Q-Fant to take any damage, so I think we're just gonna do this one more time. Beautiful. So even if this Baneful bunkers again, I don't think we have anything to worry about. Okay, Whirlipede does come out. I forgot about this. Because of the way that rollout is calced when doing switch-in calculations, it's a little wacky. Oh, missed. All right, Whirlipede did not come to play. And now we just Razor Leaf, and that should be it. So slightly different. I was a little bit wrong with my calculations. Honestly, the calcs themselves, I think, were ultimately okay. Crit didn't matter.
That was the smoothest fight we've had so far. Things went mostly according to plan, and the added benefit of forgetting to calc for sheer force damage actually meant that it was even safer than I had originally intended. With the boss fight now concluded, our level cap once again jumps up to 21, and we get quite the significant increase in power. Our ever-reliable Gossifleur, Venipede, and newly acquired Horsey all get evolutions that will hopefully aid us in taking down this mini-run's champion. Camper Gavi not only guards access to a standard rare candy item that can be used to increase our levels beyond the hard level cap, but he is also blocking off an additional encounter that we can use. So I take advantage of those new evolutions and level cap and make light work of his team to pick up the candy and a new friend.
Okay, Shinx, I can deal with Shinx. I think we got every single Intimidate Mon that we possibly could have. To bookend our encounters, we started with the calc, and we of course need our notepad to write it all down.
It's now time to address the dilemma that is our delectable rare candy. There are a few different ways I could utilize it. Surskit, Choodle, and Natu all evolve at level 22, so I could opt to use it on any of them. The only way to make the decision now is to, of course, do the actual calculations.
There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. This is all for Brawl. Like, I literally ran out of space. So, with all that being said, the decision was obvious. It was always going to be Masquerain. I called it the MVP from the start when we very first picked up Surskit. Now it is time for Masquerain to hold up its end of the bargain.
All doubt about whether I made the correct decision is quickly brushed aside as Masquerain is instrumental in helping us clear through all of Brawly's gym trainers, which is the reason that I so desperately wanted to decide where the rare candy would be used before entering the gym. With the trainers now entirely cleared out, all there was left was to take down the big man himself. And I already knew exactly how I would do it.
This is our champion. As far as I'm concerned, the game ends right here. What I've come up with is everything on this paper. It started with writing down all of my Pokemon stats, and then we did a bunch of calculating. So I literally ran out of pages in my notebook, so I had to use the back of the notebook here. What my plan was, we have Grottle with Oranberry who can Razor Leaf 1 time. And then if we look at our Masquerain's Gust damage, we actually have a minimum roll of 46. So we should, in theory, be able to hit this with Razor Leaf, prevent it from getting its Iapapa Berry, and then being able to kill it. So we actually do not want to crit Razor Leaf. Because I used the Heart Scale to give myself max speed on Masquerain, it actually hits 47 speed stats. So it is faster than every other Pokemon on this team, except for Lopunny. That is why Lopunny will come out first. Tortuga's only real value in this fight is dealing with this Lopunny and taking hits. Since this is my champion battle, you know, I can sack, I can do whatever. Like, as long as we have 1 Pokemon remaining, when we get this last kill on Brawly's team, we're good. Poliwhirl has Hidden Power Grass, so it'll see Hidden Power Grass into Tortuga. Then we can get an easy switch into Eldegoss. By getting Poliwhirl down to -1 speed, we will actually be faster with Eldegoss. Then Lopunny will come back in, we'll do the Intim Pivoting thing that I was talking about. Then Combuskin comes in. Once we're done dealing with Combuskin, then the real threat comes in. So Hitmontop comes in, and the reason that it's best just to leave Seadra in and deal with it is because it's actually highly incentivized to Pursuit. So if I was going to switch out and lose Seadra anyways, we might as well get some chip damage. We're basically just playing into getting pursuited, so we're gonna just have to sack Seadra there, because the goal is to kill this with Masquerain. And then last, but certainly not least, Scraggy. But thankfully we have Luxio and Masquerain. So 2 Intimidate Pokemon, so we can kind of potentially intimidate this thing down. Then we just have the big Covet damage, and hopefully just get an easy kill. So we'll see what happens, I guess. You never know. You never know. Things oftentimes don't go according to plan. An entire split of the hardest Pokemon game of all time, all done with hand calculations, no internet allowed, except to look up Pokemon base stats. Let's see if I have done everything correctly. Okay, we've got Brick Break into Grottle. We will come in on a 4 times resisted Brick Break. This is likely going to be Sucker Punch here. It sees that we are faster and have a kill. So, okay, we didn't get crit. That's massive. That is very important. We do pick up the KO. So far, so good. This is a 140 base power, normal type move coming off of Lopunny. Honestly, the fact that we take that so well is very impressive, and then we can just see ya, get this Lopunny out of here. And then it is Poliwhirl. Beautiful. So this should see kill with HP Grass. It is faster, so we can go straight into Eldegoss, get this Cotton down. We will simply click Leaf Tornado. We will get the accuracy drop. And then it's gonna miss Ice Beam. It's gonna miss Ice Beam. Trust, trust, trust. All right, see, who needs all of this when I've got it in my head? That is absolutely massive. So that made things a lot safer. Now we can use Eldegoss as a pivot if we need to later in the fight. So Lopunny comes back out. So now what we can start doing is we can start Intim Pivoting this thing down. Ideally, we will get both of our berries to proc here. That's -1. I would like to go -3. I think I'm just going to try and 1v1 this with Eldegoss. Oh, and we hit the oh my god, this is the luckiest Eldegoss of all time. So now we're faster because it's at -2. God, that 0 special attack IV is really showing its ugly head. Does one more Leaf Tornado get us there? Probably not, but it's going to be close. Yeah, very close. Okay, we didn't get any lucky misses. We did get crit. That is fine, though. Actually, you know what the optimal play is here? Like I said, this is the champion fight. We just have to sack Eldegoss here. Copy Paper, you are our first encounter of the run. You're an absolute legend. Rusty. Oh, we... Okay, we outsped, but I guess I should have tried to get some chip. I could have tried to at least get a little magical leaf in there. Wait, the Cotton down is huge! Wait, this is actually massive! Eldegoss sack here is massive because now we get Seadra in for free. Seadra is faster, so because we went 31 attack, this should be an Oko into the Combuskin. Don't even have to worry about it. Okay, my calcs are wrong. Uh-oh. Okay, that's bad. We have gone fully off script. All right, you got a hold, Fax Machine. Yes, no para, no para. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. We might have to run a little last second calc. Clearly, my calcs are wrong. I have miscalculated that, and it ended up probably not mattering. Okay, it Mach punched me. Yeah, that makes sense. If it saw a kill, I guess if I had known that, we could have saved Fax Machine. We are already in pursuit range, which is not good, which is kind of good, I guess. Okay, we just have to get enough to where I think this is, oh my God. Okay. Calc, it's been a pleasure. You eat those, yes. That's why you're the goat. Okay, boom, the double crit. There we go. That's my goat Calc right there. Never even worried. One Pokemon left. We're in the end game now, baby. The play is to just sack Calc. I'm sorry. We're not taking any risks here. It's been real, buddy. Starter of the run falls, but we will make sure that we carry this through. We will make sure we do this. All right, Notepad, you know what to do. All right, it didn't power up punch, which is huge. The big damage there. All right, Notepad. Send us home, Notepad. Oh, that's GG's. That's checkmate. And that is going to be Brawly down with no calculator, no spreadsheets, a spilled coffee drink. It's over. Foe Scraggy has fainted. Player defeated leader Brawly. We have obtained the first gym badge in the hardest Pokemon game with just a TI-84, a Notepad, and definitely can't forget about my super duper extra deluxe essential handbook. This couldn't have done it without you, buddy.
I had done it. 9 hours of gameplay and countless hours of calculations later, I had somehow managed to beat the first gym leader in the hardest Pokemon game with a TI-84, a GBA, and some coffee-stained documentation. It didn't feel right to leave our heroes without the proper send-off for completing such an arduous challenge, so I did my best to give them the Hall of Fame induction that they deserve.
Something like that.